So I just came from the hospital visiting my father. It is now 11 p.m. I was just going in my own mind, making his home ready for him to return from the hospital. And he asked me at one time if I could look at sorting out the basement. And he has many rooms, and one of them is a workplace. And me sorting out things that he never will use anymore, things that can be given away, things that needs to be thrown out. And it suddenly just hit me that I needed to go see him. And I started crying. And not in a hysterical way, but just starting my tears started pouring out. So I stopped what I was doing, trying to figure out what was going on with me. And I was just saying to myself, I need to see him now. I knew there wasn't anything wrong with him. I was sure that he was all right, but I felt an urge to go and see him. And with red eyes and tears running down my cheeks, I drove to the hospital. I went in and saw him, sat down with him, and he was calm. He was watching TV, but I just sat down and held his hand, and I sat there for an hour and a half, and we talked about uh, when I was a child. We talked about him as a child. We talked about many things that was very calm and under a stressed and frustrating situation. So nostalgia is really nostalgia is nostalgia is like a size that you can make yourself blind with it, but it's also a very comforting thing we have, like under a situation where there's a lot of bad feelings, a lot of frustrating moments, a lot of demons interfering. Nostalgia can bring peace into chaos. So going down memory lane, you know, getting him stimulated in that regard. He's laying in the bed all the time. He's been like this for how long? Almost a year. And his memory is fogging. So anything that can make him go back to his youth, mm, anything that can make him laugh, is just so beautiful. Uh, I know when he goes and say nasty things. Sometimes he brings out there. Sometimes there's a side of him that's not very pretty. And I know when I sit to myself that if a person is nasty to me, especially my dad, it's not because he is interested in hurting me, but he's hurting himself. Anyone who is bad to me is hurting most of the times. Most of the times. Many times people are just unhappy. Sometimes you just have evil incarnated. Most people are not born with this. approach to life and to others is just them crying out for help. Then you can say, yeah, but that doesn't apologize for a person's behavior when they're nasty. No, no, it doesn't. But it can definitely make me feel better knowing that they are hurting. And, you know, if I'm hurt and I'm sad, that's not something I want for anyone. And I want to comfort, I want to love these people. And it's difficult for me, like, okay, forgiveness is really a subject of the time, but some people I want to forgive, and I have in my mind I want to forgive them, but in my body I've forgiven them, but my mind is playing me tricks. When I'm going alone, like I get these devilish thoughts of, oh, I could do nasty things to them back, and I know who they are, I know where they live, I know their history, I know everything about them by just, seeing them, how they act. I can look straight through them. But then I think to myself, oh, no, 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 no. That's not the way. The way is love. And we need to love each other. I like to say that I don't need to do anything I want. It brings the power back to me. I want to love people. I want to love my dad. I want to love the people who is mean to me. It's difficult when you have lived your whole life with your head being the the thing that, has control over everything, your mind having an influence over your feelings, and but I can feel in my body that if I close my eyes and I talk to Jesus and my God, I know in my body that if I want peace in my soul and my system, I need to I need to forgive and I need to love. And I'm so glad I went out to my dad, um, even though no trouble, but just sitting with him, talking with him, laughing with him, holding his hand. That's a moment where I can see him and I can feel him that he is not in the hospital at that moment. And it's really beautiful. And he was closing his eyes, saying, I feel at home. You're here, you're present, and everything is good. And even though evil forces are out to get you, love is just so much more powerful. And it's not always the first instinct, but it is. I love you guys, and I wish you all the best. All right? Take care of yourself.